Well, hello. It is Wednesday, and this is Regina Clark, and I am excited to be with you today. I always have so many things on my mind, and I haven't been feeling well for about the last week, and I have turned the corner. So I am on the mend and really excited to get back in action in many areas and in many ways. And so thank you for being here. And we've been talking for the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know, about heart math. And so I still think it's an incredible topic. And again, it's this whole thing about heart intelligence and that we are heart centered people and we're meant to move from here and not from here. And so we want our brain and our heart to be coherent so that we can access our more mature heart or the more mature emotions of empathy and compassion and love versus anger and judgment, resentment and fear. And so this is always, up because I find myself, we just keep tweaking as we go. I don't think we'll ever be done. So we get a little bit better with having the more mature emotions if we're interested in getting better and practicing some of these skills and tools like they have through the Heart Math Institute, where you can practice your breathing through your heart, which then can send the message of calm up through the vagus nerve to the brain. And then instead of releasing cortisol, the goal would be to release more dopamine and more of the feel good emotions or chemicals that help you to feel more settled and grounded. And so I feel like this information is absolutely fascinating, and I am going to move on a little bit because I'm way too excited. I can't help but share with you. And we're still focused on the heart, but I just received this in the mail today. I just learned about it probably 3 days ago. Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown. And I'm so super excited about this. If you know who Brene Brown is, she's the University of Houston, and she's written many things, and she's a super popular person, and her main message is about courage and vulnerability and authenticity. I know those have become kind of cliche words almost at this point, but it is the basis of her work, and it's grounded in research. And she's a Texas gal, and I just love her. And so what I love about this is actually a book. It could be a great coffee table book. If you do not know what to get somebody for Christmas, I'm telling you, you could not go wrong. And her goal is to see more people having more conversation around the topic of the heart and of emotion. And so, interestingly enough, super fascinating to me, and all the research and the definitions, because in this book she has 87 different emotions that we feel, but most of us, when they did the research and asked the people, most people are familiar with and can identify three three emotions. And so what she's saying is that the more we can identify the emotion, the more we have the ability to understand not only how we feel, but when we're hearing someone else, how they feel. And then it's a bridge that helps us to move into compassion and understanding, even if it's outside of our experience. So the back of the book, it says, she takes us through a journey of these 87 emotions and experiences that define what it means to be human. So just like heart math, we're human and we're heart-centered first. So she gives us the language and tools to access a universe of new choices and second chances, a universe where we can share our stories, and steward the stories that other people share with us of our bravest and most heartbreaking moments with one another in a way that builds connection. And so in the front of the book, it says that Atlas of the Heart draws on Brown's singular skills as a storyteller to show us how accurately naming an experience doesn't give the experience more power, it gives us the power of understanding, meaning, and choice. Okay, so I just want to give you a little preview. I just got it. Truly, I'm sharing. I flipped through it and I'm going, oh my God, so many great things. It's not just a read it book, and I love, 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 love inspirational quotes, one-liners, things like that. And this is filled with beautiful photographs. There's even some cartoons. It's just absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. And it's a heavy, sturdy book. And so one of the things that I thought was really cool is that she goes through, there's 13 sections, and she has grouped the sections to make it easier for us to go there to learn about what emotions we may be feeling. We may be calling it one thing only because we don't have the language to call it more specifically what it is that we're actually feeling. So, example, places we go when things are uncertain or too much. So if you know you're feeling like things are uncertain or just too much for you, you may move into stress, overwhelm, anxiety, worry, avoidance, excitement, dread, fear, or vulnerability. And so if you know you're feeling that way, you may just say, well, I'm just overwhelmed, when in actuality, you may be feeling one of these other emotions. And so defining it, she says, unless you can define the emotion, you can't really move through the emotion, which to me means heal it, and move into a different space. And that's why I think this becomes so important. So another one, places we go when things aren't what they seem. Places we go when we're hurting, when things don't go as planned. And so under each of these categories is these groups of emotions. And, you may be thinking, oh, who wants to know about emotions, especially if you're a guy. Maybe it doesn't feel like your thing, but I'm telling you, the stronger connections that you're able to build when you can have those open and honest conversations with people you love. And so I absolutely want to talk to my children about this, and I want to share this information. And so one of the things in here, like for example, I'll just read you, here it says, this is one under the topic of anxiety, which is under the category of places we go when things are uncertain or too much. Anyway, it says you are afraid of surrender because you don't want to lose control. But you never had control. All you had was anxiety. So things like that, short and sweet, and then there's a lot of more detail and information, but it can really help us to think about what we're thinking about and or most importantly, how we're feeling. Here's one about comparison. Comparison is the crush of conformity from one side and the competition from the other. It's trying to simultaneously fit in and stand out. Comparison says be like everyone else, but better. That's food for thought right there, my friends. And here's one. This is in the section. What is this section? This section is places we go when we're hurting. And so this one, there's a page and it says, you can see kind of how it's laid out. But at the bottom it says, we need hope like we need air. And I actually, in different work that I've done and trying to figure out who I am, what am I here to do, I actually have defined myself as a hope giver. Now, everybody may not see me that way, but that's that's what feels important to me and what I feel like I'm trying to do with these messages, these Wake Up Wednesdays that I'm doing, with the work that I do in the world, with my new Angel Book workshops, with my brainwave balancing. Things have gotten off and we're trying to come back so that we can have hope. Hope for something different, hope for something better, hope for change. And so that feels really important to me. And she says, hope is a function of struggle. We develop hope not during the easy or comfortable times, but through adversity and discomfort. And then she goes on to, tell stories, and she brings in her family, she brings in definitions, talks about hopelessness and despair. And let's see if I've got one more, and then I will move away from this book. Here's one about, this one is about sadness. It says, when I'm really scared, worried, overwhelmed, stressed about what's happening, and trying to find perspective, I ask myself, will this issue be a big deal in 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months, or 5 years? And I think that's a great, so just truly thick, heavy, hardbound. I don't even know what I paid for it, but I know it wasn't very much. I'm pretty sure it wasn't more than $25 or something. So anyway, again, if you're looking for something on your Christmas list, just keep it in mind because it's a really great tool. So I think that's all I have. I wanted to share that with you, and I just wanted to thank you for all the people who responded when I cried out for help. Just saying that this sickness thing, I don't know. Again, like I said, I've turned the corner. I'm moving forward. But I really appreciate the people who reached out and who shared information with me, tips and tricks and tools. And you know me, I have taken almost every single one of those things that were mentioned to me and suggested to me, and I'm doing them because that's what I like to do. And so take care of your wonderful self, and don't be we're all over the place when it comes to emotion, but it is the human condition. We are emotional beings, right? Without that, we would just be the animal, right? And even animals, we know dogs, man, best friend, but I'm saying we're the ones that really have the capacity to feel and to think and to trust and to move into this life in a way that we can love and be loved. So I really appreciate you, and I look forward to talking to you again next week on Wednesday.